Hey vlog, it's crazy. I've always been wanting to say this because I'm a huge fan of watching travel vlogs, lifestyle vlogs. And the past year or so, I've also been really into watching founders documenting their journey. So if you know the likes of like Daniel Dalen or George Heaton, I love watching their videos because they're really raw and authentic footages and like just behind the scenes of how they approach their businesses and their life in general. Right now, I'm actually at a coffee shop, and so yeah, just doing some work. Actually, just working on my year-end review for work. But yeah, quick intro. My name is Nick. I'm a product designer, currently working for a marketing tech company. Outside of work, I'm also a mentor and life coach for young people. When it comes to like content creation, though, I'm just a complete baby. But my goal of starting this channel is that I want to simply document my journey because I like watching vlogs, and so I want to try to experiment with this format as well. And yeah, one of my goal of documenting my life and like showing how I'm navigating adulthood is that I want to see my growth over time. So maybe in a couple of months or like at the end of like 2026, I can look back and see how much I've grown over the entire year. And in that process, I'm hoping that this, by me documenting my life, it can also inspire some of you guys to also work on your personal growth, personal development journey. There's a lot that I want to share and document. And since it's December right now, why don't I just show you guys how I'm spending December and how I'm celebrating Christmas? So before I actually bring you guys along to some of the Christmas celebrations and gatherings that I'm going to have, I just want to share that yesterday was my 2 years work anniversary at my current role. And time really flies because just 2.5 years ago, I was laid off at my first design job and first tech job. And just within 5 months, I found my current job, signed the offer, went for a vacation in Asia, came back and started working at my new job, or new job at the time, my current role. And it's been a ride. Lots of changes at my company, but now I'm able to also form these like really great partnerships with my colleagues. Great team, great camaraderie. And in fact, I actually wanted to get a promotion sometime at the end of 2025, which is now, because we usually have a performance review at the end of the year. But you know what? My manager decided to give me that promotion in the middle of the year, which is beyond my expectation, actually. So yeah, truly a blessing, and I'm super grateful for everything. And yeah, just want to share that because literally it was my 2 years work anniversary yesterday. So yeah, now let's get back into the Christmas celebrations and gathering. It's Boxing Day today, and I decided not to go out and shop. And rather spend a couple hours sitting with my own thoughts at home. And before heading out to my evening plans tonight. But then Daniel Dalen dropped a video on Boxing Day. So being a fan of his content, I had to watch it. And after watching this video, it really inspired me to pick up the camera and film this segment. And probably the video that I just watched from Daniel Dalen probably inspired me for this video's title. Probably something along like end of the year, but not end of your story. So earlier I shared that I'm a complete beginner when it comes to creating content. And right now I'm going through a phase of reinventing myself and finding alignment to my purpose. So I'm just gonna wear a beginner's hat and really try to share my thoughts here as much as possible. And I think it's actually gonna be part of this whole vlogging project that I'm gonna have, which is to try to document as much as possible about what I'm thinking about, how I'm going through my life and things like that. And the other day I was reflecting upon the significant moments in my life since I was 18 years old. I'm just gonna read it out loud. A Notion to write down a lot of my thoughts, even like doing my journaling alongside with like all the task management, my finance and things like that. But anyway, I'm just gonna read my reflection. And I started to reflect when I was in 17 here. And it goes in chronological order. At 17, I wanted to become an architect and spent 3 months on a portfolio piece that went nowhere. At 18 years old, I repeated my last year of high school because I did not know what I wanted to study. But then during that year, I found a new interest in psychology and human interaction. In 19, I started my undergrad in social work and hit academic probation after 4 months because I thought I finally made it to university. And looking back, university was just like the beginning and not the end, and I had it all wrong. At the same year, at 19 years old, I also went back to my birthplace after 7 years. I worked my first full-time job there at a nonprofit organization and lived paycheck to paycheck for 5 months. At 20 years old, I went back to university and studied for 3 years straight without taking a semester off. I remember at that time, I was actually trying to play catch up with time because I felt like I already spent an extra year in high school and then I spent 8 months for my academic probation. So I had to really catch up with the pace. And after those three years, at 23, I graduated and found my passion in doing youth work in a nonprofit. At 26, I was lost and depressed. Wondered if I could actually make a living out of the work that I really enjoyed. At 28, I switched to a different nonprofit organization, only to realize that the work that I'm doing wasn't sustainable for myself or for the people that I was serving. I picked up morning lifeguarding shifts before driving over an hour to my 9 to 5. At 29, I lost my part-time job, my lifeguarding job, because of the pandemic and everything was in lockdown. It gave me time to sit with my future, and I decided to invest into a new career in UX design. At 30 years old, I made it a goal to pivot my career, and I landed my first design job in tech. At 32, I was laid off and questioned if my career pivot was just all luck. At the same year, 32 years old, I also ended my 9-year relationship. At the same time, I landed my second design job in tech within 5 months from the layoff. At 34, which is now, I have over 4 years of experience designing software, and I'm still redefining who I will become. The past, 17 years or so had been a wild ride. But it reminded me of one thing. Whether you're 18, 26, or 34 years old, you're always learning about the world, you're always learning about the people around you, and most importantly, you're always learning about yourself, reconnecting yourself. Based on my timeline, I'm probably can be described as a late bloomer, but then we all have our own pace, our own rhythm in life. After all, life isn't a competition. So just to reiterate, it's going to be my goal to document my life. Maybe it's the thoughts that I have about my purpose, about the life that I want to create for myself. It might be kind of the lifestyle stuff that I want to share with you, or even actually just document how I'm going through my day-to-day, or even the things that I'm trying to pursue in terms of lifestyle. I got some travel plans for 2026, which I really am looking forward to document. And a plan to also publish videos every month for 2026, and again to really capture my growth throughout the entire next year. So if you're someone who's looking to reinvent yourself, you're someone who's looking to go deeper with yourself, have those real kind of vulnerable conversations with yourself. I welcome you to join this journey. And with that, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2026. Peace.